Sounds good. Car vlog today on Mooch Life. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a car vlog, Camaro content coming back at you. Hope you enjoyed the last couple vlogs where we switched it up and added a food playlist to the channel. But today we're going back to the Camaro. Got something pretty cool in the driveway I want to show you guys today, so check it out. Alright guys, so if you're here for the very first time, this is my 2014 Camaro SS. It is a 1SS, which means it doesn't have some of the cooler features on the interior and such, like leather seats and a premium sound system or anything like that. It's got regular halogen lights. If you happen to be a Camaro fan, you know that this is not a color offered on this year. This car is vinyl wrapped, so a lot of you seeing this may already know that, but if you're here for the first time, this is my mimicking the shock yellow or shock green Camaro that came out in like 2019, 2020, and obviously this is a 2014. So today we're in the driveway because she's filthy, and I figured I'd make a cool video because as a car enthusiast, why not explain tips and tricks that I feel are useful to me when it comes to washing the car. So I did drive through some mud a couple weeks ago. The tires and wheels obviously are nice and dirty, so you can see that. And then we got a bunch of dust all on the trunk of the car. Might be hard to see with the glare, but this side is where you can really tell. Get up in that wheel well there. Yeah, drove through some mud, guys. So we're gonna wash the car today, show you everything I like to do. Maybe you'll pick up on a tip or a trick or two that you could use when you're washing your car in the driveway to make your car the best it can be. So stick around, watch these tips and tricks, and let's get to it. The very first tip here, and it's probably the most important one, is do not wash your car in the sun. I have this wonderful tree that shadows over the driveway, and I can wash my car basically any time of the day. The number one reason why this is a good tip is because when the sun's hitting the car and you drench it with water, the sun dries it quickly, you get water spots, they're hard to get off. To some of you that may be pretty common sense, but some of you may not know, and that's why I'm making the video, for those of you who don't know. So in the shade or a cloudy day is optimal to wash your car in, so that is tip number one. Tip number two will be supplies. It's up to you to experiment with what you like. So there's all kinds of chemicals you can buy. Some of my favorites are for the front fascia. You get all your bugs. So if you find a nice bug and tar removal, I recommend that. Turtle wax actually makes a really nice one that foams. A lot of them you spray on there, they don't foam up, they just run down. You have to kind of wash it immediately, but there's a foam kind that turtle wax provides, and you spray it on there, it actually stays on there and like keeps doing its job, and it wipes those bugs off really easily. So I'm actually out of that right now, so we're gonna go ahead and just use some elbow grease to get them off. Your soap. Meguiar's Ultimate Wash and Wax. This is my favorite soap. It's like a combo 2-in-1. It cleans the car and leaves it silky smooth at the end. Same thing. Some people might want to use just like a stripping soap, get the car nice and clean, and then use their own wax products after. Whether it's Carnauba or a spray wax, a ceramic wax, all those different things. They're pretty cool, and they all do their job in different ways, but it's about like trial and error, see what you like for you. So that's another cool thing. So another thing I like to do is use some kind of a wheel cleaner. I use different kinds. I just buy what's cheap. I do notice that some do work better than others. I'm not a fan of this purple bottle stuff, but it does the job, and we're gonna, same thing, do our elbow grease for today's video. I don't have all my favorite products. I actually need to make a trip to the store to figure out, to restock on my favorites, but the wash and wax is a definite. And then when you're done, some tire foam or tire dressing, different stuff like this Mother's Back to Black Tire Shine. All those things are pretty cool. whenever you're going to a car show or whatever, it's nice to have a nice like sheen on your tire versus just being clean rubber, which clean rubber is nice, but shiny rubber is even better. The only issue though with a lot of those tire products is when you drive, it slings. You'll hear the term sling. It'll throw its own polish like onto your paint. It's not a bad thing technically, but you just have to like wipe it back off. It'll get on your wheel. You got to wipe it off your wheel, all that kind of thing. So products. Tip number 3 are tools. So as you see here, I got a Troy-built pressure washer. We love that. And a shop vac with some attachments. I bought this little kit that comes with like different tools. This is like a little, this guy here is like my favorite. It's a little hairbrush one. If you get like dog hair in your car and you like rub that on the upholstery, it comes out real easy. And then this guy that's attached is pretty neat too. This one will get between the seats real well. So that's a cool tip. And an air compressor. This one maybe not a lot of people use when they're doing some interior cleaning, but when you throw the little sprayer nozzle attachment onto the air compressor, it really is good at getting between the seats and under the seats to blow out some extra dust. So that one is like my hidden secret to get your interior really nice. So with that being said, there's some tips and tricks here. Buckets, I use 2. I got a foam cannon. We'll use that. You can get these on Amazon. I actually did a video on this foam cannon, and I'll link it in the description there, or put it on the video there. Gets the car nice and soapy, which is pretty cool. And the green mitt is for the paint. And then I also have a wire brush here. It's seen better days to get the wheels done and clean with its own mitt, kind of like an old junky mitt. This bucket is wheels and tires only, and then this one is paint only. So let me go ahead and get them filled up and we'll start washing the car. Before we wash too, I forgot to mention this one. This little adapter here you can get at Harbor Freight. It's pretty neat when you're using a pressure washer. You got your little hose nozzle here, and it's like a quick connect, and then you put the other end on your pressure washer, and boom, you're connected. So that's kind of neat. We don't have to screw stuff in every time. You can just connect each time. It's hard to do. There we go. Whoa! Oh my gosh. Fail. So we're gonna hose out. We got some dirt in the bucket there. We're gonna hose that out, get all that dirt off of there, dump it, start with a nice clean bucket. We added some wash and wax soap to our bucket. We're getting it nice and sudsy. Awesome. And then I went ahead and filled up our foam cannon about 1/4 inch from the bottom with some of our wash and wax. There are formulas obviously that are made for foam cannons, and this is not one of them, but I have used this before on this and it works just fine. Luscious. Tighten her down, and then that'll be ready when we go to attach it to the pressure washer to add our foam cannon goodness to the Camaro. So I like to do a little pre-soak shower action. Any loose dirt and dust will come off easy, even maybe some of the bugs that aren't really sticking on there good. So this is like a dusting for the paint. And then you remember those wheel wells right there with all that mud. I want to soak them good. Get as much of that off as I can before I put a mitt on it. Get inside the wheel really well with the rinse. And see how you can see the water beading up on the paint, which it's the vinyl wrap, but still. That's from previous wash and wax material that's already on it. So check that out. Ew. Yeah. She's seen better days, guys. She's seen better days. So let me just rinse this down and then we'll show you the next step. We got our wheel and tire bucket filling up with water. So while it's doing that, we're gonna add our wheel and tire cleaner. It's all 4 tires. So we'll get the rubber inside the wheel. I like to spray it in the wheel wells. Let it do its thing. We'll do all 4 tires. Then our water will be filled up, and then we scrub wheels and tires first, always, because in my opinion, your wheels and tires are the dirtiest part of the vehicle. So you get that out of the way before you wash paint. That'll help eat up all that grime, all that brake dust, all that mud. I like to get the wheel wells too. That's a good tip. One more. Let the chemicals help you guys. Let the chemicals do the work. Cool. Little bit of wash and wax in there. Fizzle the top so we get some bubblies. Get it down in there. I always like to go as gentle as I can with the bristles, as to not scratch any wheel material that you're afraid of scratching. But basically I got my old mitt, and I'm going to go ahead and just go around the rubber. A couple times, a little bit elbow grease. And then we'll go in the middle here and get all 5 spokes, along with the lug nuts. Get every crack and crevice as good as you can. I'm not a professional, guys, but just trying to help out. Any of these deep to reach parts that you can't reach with your towel, you can get your little scrubby brush in there and get the back of the wheel. Or if you were so inclined to, you would actually just jack it up, get the wheel off of the car. That's how you know you're a baller. Take the wheel off the car, you can clean the wheel and the wheel well, like amazingly, and then just throw it back on. You can go ahead and rinse that off before it dries. Another tip too while I'm doing this, if I feel like the car's drying off on top from my pre-rinse, let's go ahead and hit her again. Keeps her wet. I'm not afraid of water spots because we're in the shade, but just in case. Now I'm going to get the wheel wells here. They were muddy, so I'm going to get them good. I can feel the grit, so I don't want to scrub hard because I don't want to scratch anything, but I got most of it off with the water itself. All 4 wheels and tires and wheel wells are clean. We got a nice sheen of water on the paint. So now it's time to get our foam cannon attached. Just gonna hook it up, start our pressure washer, and it'll be noisy, so I'm not gonna talk during it, but just enjoy the luscious suds getting applied to the car. Hurry up and detach that, put our regular nozzle back on. Good. I like to start from the top and work my way down. The bottom is the dirtiest part, so start from the top because it's the cleanest part. Give it a scrub, do the whole car, and then we'll rinse. Alright, so we scrubbed it all down. Let's go ahead and pressure wash all these suds off. don't put your pressure tip up against the paint. It can prick it up real bad. So you want to stay at least 3 feet away. So let me finish up and show you the result. She's clean, guys. Check it out. Looks good, guys. We'll dry it off. A couple quick tips there. So drying off the car, we use 2 terry cloth towels. I like to go over it once with one, then get a fresh one, go over the other. So I wipe it down twice. Self-explanatory. Make sure there's no grit or griminess in your towels. Use good quality towels so you don't scratch anything, and get it all dry. So we'll see you in 3, 2, 1. And just like that, dry. No water spots anywhere. It's looking good. So it brings us to our next tip, is the door jambs and trunk. Once you wash your car, don't forget that you're gonna have water on the inside. And if you're here for the first time, there's my original paint. That is Red Rock Metallic up against the Avery Dennison Gloss Lime Green fake shock. So we'll pop the trunk. We'll open this guy up. Got some golf clubs in there. Shooting par, baby, shooting par. Then we'll open up our passenger door. And then you want to get all these, like, see there's some soap suds there, and then there's some water spots. If you get all close, you can see them. So make sure you just wipe them off real quick, because the inside of your car and paint is just as important as the outside. When you're detailing your car, you want to be nice and thorough. Get it as clean as you can, because you care about your vehicle. So, and there you go. And then don't forget the hidden part under the door here. Right there. Try not to let your towel drag against the ground, so you don't pick up pebbles and scratch it against your paint. But that's that. Boom. Nice and clean, nice and dry. Then we can go into the trunk, and you can see all these spots here on the plastic above the tail lights, behind the little hydraulic lift on the lid itself. Water everywhere, guys. You want to get all that. Dry it off, and it'll make you feel all good inside. Oh yeah. So get that all done, and then it'll be time for the interior, the good old interior on the Camaro. We'll show you our tips and tricks in there as well, so stay tuned. So now we're going to take care of the glass. I have tint on my windows here, so there's a 35% film on the inside, and it's important when you're cleaning. This is a good tip. This sprayway glass cleaner, or any brand that says ammonia free, is what you need to use, because ammonia can mess up the tint. So if you have tint on your windows, make sure you use ammonia free. So let's open this up. I just like to spray the rag a little bit. It's like a foamy. I don't like to put a heavy dose on the window because it's harder to wipe off. So I like to go like that. Oh yeah. The outside's pretty much good because I dried it off with my terry cloth towels when I dried it. So I just pretty much have to do the inside here. And then if you want to just evaluate, come outside here and check. Maybe I'll wipe it real quick here, but I like to do, if it's not a heavily soiled window, then you don't need a large amount of product. It just makes it easier. Even though it says it's streak free, if you use too much of it, it'll most likely streak. So go ahead and do the other window now, get that done, and then we'll talk about cleaning the interior. And then on the outside here real quick, get a little bit of like streaking on your rear view mirror. You can go ahead and take your damp cloth from your sprayway and just wipe that off real quick, and boom, silky smooth. Don't forget to subscribe to Mooch Life right there, guys. So for the interior, I like to put both seats all the way back, and this interior is pretty filthy, guys. I haven't cleaned this thing in like over a year. There's dog hair from a few times the dog's been in there. There's like, my wife left some garbage in here. There's like an M&M wrapper and some chapstick. There's sand in there because we took the car to Florida. Down in the crack here, this is where I'm going to show you that cool trick, so stay tuned. And then, you know, in here a little bit on the fabric. So let's get the ball rolling here with this. So first I want to get all this little garbage I can out of the floor. And then I'm going to take the floor mats out, set them aside, and then check that out. Pretty dirty, huh? But we'll get it clean here. So this is where I highly recommend this bristle tip nozzle. Check out how awesome it does with this dog hair. You just kind of give it a little scrub and it like gets the hair right off of the carpet. So if you don't have that, that's a huge tip. You want to make sure you invest in that. I got it from like Sears or something when they were still in business or whatever. So and check out this little corner right here. See, that hair sticks sometimes. It's real hard to get off. And if you just have a regular brush, like a regular plastic tip, that hair doesn't like to come out. But if you get a bristle tip like this, it really helps. And if you can't get all the hair, and it's maybe a thicker or smaller, shorter hair that's like a little more stickier than the hair I'm dealing with, you know, there's some tricks with like duct tape and stuff you can Google, but this thing right here does the trick for me every time. As you can tell, it made short work. Seats, guys, same thing, nice and dirty. But this bristle tip is awesome for it as well. Really gets in those little nooks and crannies. It's just like a toothbrush, you know. It gets in between your teeth good with those bristles. These bristles get in between the fabric. So, can't recommend this one enough. Go ahead and finish up that seat there. So now we went ahead and switched tips. This is our long slender nozzle. It's going to be good to get down into the crack here where I can't reach with the regular nozzles. And it's got a little notch right there, so it sucks out of the side. So you put that side in and just gently put it through there between the plastic. You don't want to scratch it too hard because it'll scratch your plastic up. So you can go down in there. Now this isn't going to get every single bit of dirt out of that crack. So this is where my little another tip slash trick I like to use. So it got it pretty good. Like, try to zoom in there. It's pretty decent, but there's still a little bit of hair and dirt and dust in there. So let me show you the super magic trick here. Now this one might be a little bit advanced, but the old air compressor here, it really gets down in there, and any of that dirt that you couldn't suck up, you can just blow it to the back seat. So just get in there, get under there, and there you go. It blows all that dust to the back. And my slender nozzle did a pretty good job, so it's hard to tell, but it is blowing dirt back there. So this is a little pro trick here. So If you have an air compressor, use it. And check it out, guys. Look how awesome the interior is coming along. I got like every morsel of dirt out of this vehicle. So one of the last tips of the day before we finish up is how do I clean the plastics on the inside? And surprisingly, I don't know why, I tried it one time and I like it. This Lysol all-purpose cleaner. I love citrus. It smells amazingly lemony, and I hate any product that you can put on plastics in your vehicle that leave it looking oily, like shiny. They promote it shiny, but I just think it looks greasy and gross. So this doesn't, it just dries up. I don't know that it's safe for every vehicle, but it's safe on mine. I've used it on mine before and it works. So I don't know if you want to try this, do it at your own risk, but if you like lemony scent, this is an awesome smelling product, and it also kills germs. So we'll go ahead and spritz that on a rag and wipe down the interior. Nice, generous. Ooh, it smells so lemony. Nice little wiping. You can see a little bit of dirt there. It doesn't shine, it just cleans. That's all I want. Get all my plastics. Get on top of the dash here. Just a quick little dusting. And then we'll get the glove box also. The cup holders. The shifter boot. And their little compartment there, which the 2SS, I think it's standard. It comes with the gauge cluster that pays homage to the first gen Camaro, where you got your temp gauge and your oil pressure and all that. I don't have that, although I can buy that aftermarket and install it. I believe that just pops off and there's a little harness under there. It's nothing too big. And then a light touch of the touch screen there. Dust off the vents. We'll get the bezel and the steering wheel and all that. I'll switch sides, finish that up. You get the drift, and then we'll see you outside the vehicle. So outside the vehicle, I like to pop the hood. Again, there's some of that red rock metallic going on. And then I like to take my dry towel, my first dry towel that's more damp than the second one, and I like to use that to dust off underneath here. So just a quick little dusting there. I'm not going for perfection here, but you could do this earlier actually, because there are some dry water spots. Tisk tisk, I guess I did it out of order, but nonetheless I'm getting it done. It's good to get under the hood here too. All kinds of dust likes to accumulate. If you're trying to make your car look as good as possible, then leave no stone unturned. So just mostly dust here. Now if your car's older or whatever and you're trying to super clean it and you happen to have like a bunch of oil and grease and stuff over there, you might want to get a degreaser. Spray down what you can. Try not to spray your electronics and stuff, because that's not good. But that's pretty much it. So check it out. Looks good, huh? And you get up under there. Oh yeah, it's looking pretty, guys, looking pretty. So that's another tip, make sure you get under your hood. I said earlier in the video, there's all kinds of different kinds. I don't mind this Armor All Extreme Tire Shine, lasts for weeks. So go ahead and turn that on. And then actually, there's a little tool I have that I like to use if I can find it. Right here. A little sponge applicator. This thing's awesome with the tire shine, so Let's go throw that on, show you that. So I'll just spray it all the way around, and then we can get our little applicator and get up to the tire itself, and we kind of just rub it in all the way around. That helps it spread out on the tire better, look a little more shiny. Sometimes I put 2 coats on. I let that dry for like 15 minutes, and then you get some overspray on the wheel there. Now I like to take a rag and wipe that off. So let me grab a rag. This one will do. This is the one I always wipe with. I use the same rag for stuff. Good. And do like so. And I'll do all 4 tires, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you liked all the tips and tricks I use when I wash my car. Hopefully you learned something that maybe you could use in your adventures with your new sports car, muscle car, truck, van, whatever you like to drive. So I think it's only fitting, since the car's nice and clean, that we do a nice little cinematic pan of the entire vehicle. So So you can tell the driveway is a mess, but on a Sunday afternoon when you're trying to make your ride look nice, sometimes you got to get the tools and the accessories out here to make your ride look as good as it can. So hopefully you learned some tips and tricks. Obviously this is a pretty straightforward video, but everybody does things a little bit differently. So if you found any of this informational, I'm happy for you, because that's what this video is for. So that's my 2014 1SS Camaro LS3 6.2 liter V8. If you're a Camaro fan or a muscle car in general fan, subscribe to my channel. Next video you're not going to want to miss, because we're taking this guy out on the road. We got something really cool and special planned for the Camaro, so that's coming up soon. Otherwise, thanks for watching this video. I'm Mooch. This is Mooch Life. Peace out.